When people talk about dorm life, they're always talking about hall-style dorms. A long hallway with a bunch of rooms, and it's super social, knocking on doors, eating in the dining hall together, and it's this big community type thing. My dorms were not like this. I lived in apartment-style dorms, which is a whole different experience. The way mine worked was there was a flat of 5 people, where everyone had their own room and washroom, and then you all share a kitchen, and stayed out like this long, narrow hallway with 6 doors, 5 bedrooms and a kitchen. And the thing about this setup is that it completely kills any chance of natural interaction, because in halls, a lot of the people end up getting close to others just by proximity. Like, you're constantly around different people. You run into them, and then you hang out with them without even planning to. But in apartment-style dorms, you don't really get that same level of freedom, because those 4 people you're living with for the year will be such a hit or miss. You need to go out of your way to build a social life. Like, it's not something your dorm automatically gives you. So what ends up happening is you don't get that dorm community thing at all. You just get your flat, and that's it. Which sounds good in theory, because it's more intimate. I think you get to know your flatmates on a deeper level, if they're cool. It's not like you automatically end up becoming best friends, which certainly wasn't the case with me. I ended up becoming super tight with one of my flatmates. And that's it. And it's not even like there's drama. We just never really made an effort to hang out. And sometimes we'll even end up at the same function or something. Like, there's social circle overlap here. But whenever I try acknowledging them in public, like smiling or waving at them, they just straight up ignore me. I think they're really shy, hopefully. It's this weird middle ground where we're not strangers, but we're not really friends. We're almost friends. And it's just awkward. Every time I walk into the kitchen and see a flatmate, we both go like, "Oh hey," like acknowledging each other's existence. And then there's a pause where neither of us know whether to continue the interaction or just disengage. And 9 times out of 10, we both choose disengage. So it's just silence where we pretend the other person isn't there. And sometimes we don't even say that initial hey to acknowledge each other. It'll just be pure silence from the start. And then one of us leaves, and that's the whole interaction. So I live with people, but I live alone. And living alone is its own thing. On one hand, it's kind of amazing. Like, there were so many nights where I just leave my room for no reason and end up in a random place pulling all-nighters with people I had just met. And like, in what universe would my parents ever be okay with this? And then on the other hand, living alone kind of sucks as well. I remember early on, like first week or so, it was Friday night, and I had one of those nights where I was out and about, feeling on top of the world. I come back to my room, 4 a.m., and I'm greeted with 2 bugs. There's a spider and a bee. And I just froze, because what are you even supposed to do? I don't have my parents. I don't have anyone to call. Just me, this bee, and this spider at 4 in the morning. So I text my flag group chat, no response, because, it's 4 a.m. And then I remember I have this big building group chat, like 60-something odd people. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have ever been in a big group chat for your school or class or something, but what generally ends up happening is that no one ever talks in those chats. So I'm sitting there debating, like, do I text this chat? Do I not text this chat? I'm weighing the pros and cons in my head. But then the bee starts flying around, like, bzz, bzz, and I panic. So I get desperate, and I texted it asking if someone could help me. And nobody answers. I get straight aired. So now I'm just in my room with these creatures, and this newfound realization that no one is coming to help me. So I'm like, okay, it's okay. I'll just sleep in the kitchen. I grab my pillow and my blanket. I go to the kitchen, only to be greeted with another spider. So I go back to my room, and somehow, I can't remember exactly how, but they end up behind my curtain, and I go to sleep, because this is tomorrow's problem. And the next day, I don't even open my curtains because I'm so scared. I just sit in the dark for hours. And I don't know if it was the bugs or the darkness, or because I woke up at noon, or just general homesickness, but that was not a good day. But that day, I got a text inviting me to go study. So I'm thinking, okay, good. I need to get out this room. The whole time I'm there, I'm thinking about the bugs behind my curtain and stressing. Eventually, I excuse myself. I go to the washroom. I get behind a stall, and I just start crying, like fully crying in the stall. And I was gone for half an hour. And eventually, my friend texts me asking if I'm okay, because it's been half an hour. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go back out there. I clean myself up, I go back out, and I think I'm fine. Until someone asks me, hey, are you okay? And I start crying again, except this time it's in front of them. And mind you, this is like week 1 or 2. So this was my earlier impressions to these people. And that day, it kind of just exemplifies that this whole thing is just a lot. Like you go your whole life of having structure and familiarity to suddenly being completely on your own, texting group chats that don't respond, and crying the next day. And no one really prepares you for that part. So dorm life is weird, but specifically this version of it is a very specific kind of weird.